He's a better arm. He's more of an athlete. He's absolutely a better quarterback talent. But Foles keeps winning. Foles is 4-0 in the playoffs. Foles has a Super Bowl. Foles is 11-2. And this is what it comes down to. The man upstairs gave Carson Wentz and very few others on the planet all the gifts. Carson Wentz is 6'5", 235, A+. His arm is a rocket, A+. His mobility is an A+. And when you're given those gifts, you're a little less patient in the pocket. You'll just go out and run. Sometimes you've got this, hey, I got it mentality. This is not to say Carson Wentz is difficult to coach, but Nick Foles is easier because Nick Foles is limited. He's not a great athlete. He doesn't have a rocket arm. He's not very mobile. The two best pre-snap quarterbacks in my life are Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. They had to be. They weren't great athletes. When the man upstairs gives you gifts, you will use them. That is the burden of being Cam, and the burden of being Aaron Rodgers, and the burden of being John Elway, and that is the burden of having Terry Bradshaw's arm. Nick Foles is not more talented. Carson Wentz is your future. But when you watch the Eagles play and Nick Foles throws it, you end up saying this a lot. Wow, what a catch. When Carson Wentz throws it and you watch the Eagles, you end up saying this a lot. Wow, what a throw. Cold and flu season, try Vicks Sinex nasal spray. Uses directed, works up to 12 hours. Vicks Sinex nasal spray. Doug Gottlieb, Greg Cosell, top of next hour, excuse me. There are most things I think I can explain in life. You can find the answers for almost everything today on Google. You can ask any question in the world and they'll have an answer in Google. There are some things, though, I would say 3 things in the world I cannot explain. Number 1 is smoking, why people smoke. You die sooner. It's a painful death. It's very expensive. Increasingly, you are forced into tiny, isolated places. You've gone to an airport, seen the smoking section. That's a communal coffin. And it makes you smell. Get a patch. It makes no sense. I can't explain it. The second thing I can't explain is states that allow you to ride a motorcycle without a helmet. You do get there is no such thing as a fender bender on a motorcycle. You're upright or you're dead. That's the way it goes. You're either flying around or you're dead. And some hippie in a Prius checks out, downloads his Fish album, doesn't look, and knocks you into the next county, and you're a street pizza. Ski resorts force you to wear a helmet. You're going 28 miles an hour. New Hampshire, you're going 108. Wear a headband. We're all good here. I don't get it. Here's the third thing I do not understand. Nick Foles is the best passer in the NFL when blitzed. I do not understand this. He does not have a great arm. He does not have great escapability. Smoking, states that don't demand a helmet, and Nick Foles being the best passer in the NFL when blitzed. I do not understand this. Peter King yesterday offered this. It may be his personality.
The fact that they get Foles, who's cool hand Nick, is he's told me, I play with a quiet mind. The day of a game, what does he do? Does he study film? Does he do this? No. He journals about how to be a better father. I'm just telling you, this is a different human being than a lot of the quarterbacks that we've known. He tries to enter a game with classical music playing in his head, Colin. That is Nick Foles.
It is remarkable. Even Las Vegas does not get Nick Foles. Nick Foles and Doug Peterson are now 4-0 in the playoffs. And they've beaten good teams. They beat the New England Patriots. And they beat the red-hot Minnesota Vikings. And they last week went into Chicago and beat the Bears. And they're 8-point dogs at New Orleans. Vegas can't figure them out. Vegas doesn't like them. And Vegas usually has it right. Vegas has them. Do you know what an 8-point favorite is in the NFL? That's like when a dog goes to Foxborough. Like, you get over like 6 points in the NFL, you get the average score in the NFL is 26-23. That's like 3 times the average margin. We're down to the final 8 teams. Maybe it's his personality. I do believe I've always had a little anxiety. I'm kind of hyper. I think there are certain people that are born hyper and born calm. I was not born calm. I tend to be a little too intense, a little too anxious, a little too hyper. I don't sleep particularly well. And then there are people that are just natural DNA. They just can walk into a burning building and their heart rate doesn't go up. I've seen this with race car drivers before. Years and years ago, they did a test on like the late, great Dale Earnhardt, and his pulse didn't go up one iota, going 190 miles an hour around a turn. Some guys are just built to race cars, and some guys are built to jump out of planes, and I'm not either. But this is fairly remarkable. Nick Foles, best quarterback. And by the way, it's not like it's a fluky thing. The guys under him are like, Breeze and Luck and Brady Mahomes and most of the good guys. By the way, Dak's way up there too. So, All right, Joey with the news.
No.
Turn on the news.
This is the Herdline News.
Nick Foles is a phenomenon.
He really is. I mean, Greg Cosell came on 2 weeks ago, and I asked him who's better, and he wouldn't entertain the question. He's like, that's ridiculous. Greg Cosell watches film. He's like, it's not close. Wentz is transformative at Foles the backup. He would not answer my question. He goes, I don't even know why we're asking this question.
It's going to be a real conversation if they get this game this weekend.
Oh, my God. I don't remember a playoff game. If you're asking me what would be good for our show, Foles upsets the Saints. Cowboys beat the Rams. I think Mahomes and Andy Reid winning is actually better than the Colts because I think that's a better story. The MVPs, Chargers crushing the Patriots. Our Monday show would be stupendous. So would our Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I mean, that gives you story after story after story.
From your lips to the sports god's ears.
Yes.
All right, so on the same day that Cliff Kingsbury officially was introduced by the Cardinals with the number 1 overall pick in the upcoming draft, a report from the San Francisco Chronicle said that Kyler Murray will be declaring for the 2019 NFL Draft. So what does that mean? Well, the internet did some digging and found this little tidbit from Kingsbury in October.
Kyler he's a freak, man. Kyler is a freak, and I've followed him since he was a sophomore in high school, and just think the world of him and what he can do on a football field. And I've never seen one better in high school, and he's starting to show it now at the college level. And I don't have enough good things to say about him. He's phenomenal. I've never seen him have a poor outing, not one, which at quarterbacks it's impossible to do, but he's done it. And I don't know, I'd take him with the first pick of the draft if I could. I know he's signed up to play baseball, but he is a dominant football player, and I would take him with the first pick.
Hey, by the way, he even had better numbers than Baker Mayfield, and Baker put up stupid numbers at Oklahoma. By the way, only 66% of Major League Baseball first-round picks make it to the big leagues. 100% of first-round NFL picks make it to the NFL.
Right.
And by the way, the numbers for baseball players lasting 3 years is under 50%. So you only have a 6 out of 10 chance to make the bigs if you get drafted in baseball, but it's like 4 out of 10 to last 2 to 3 years. So NFL going to pay a ton early, and you're going to last in the NFL for 7-8 years minimum unless you get hurt.
Well, I've said before when he was, when this report was he wasn't sure what he was going to do, that the better move would be to go to the NFL. Because, I think Tebow proved if you really want to play baseball like that, if your body's still capable of it, you could go back and play baseball. If you need to fulfill your lifetime dream of playing baseball, you can't do that in the NFL. So if you have any desire to play in the NFL, you should go right away. But people are focusing on the fact that now Kingsbury is in a position where he could take Kyler Murray number 1 overall in the draft, but he has Josh Rosen. But Adam Schefter said it's this morning on ESPN, it said that the idea of a Rosen trade is not that far off because the coaching staffs could, lead to a change in direction. I don't see how that's possible.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Murray.
benefit that is. And you can say what you want about Josh Rosen. The offensive line was the worst offensive line in the entire league. He never had a shot.
Yeah.
This is not going to happen. And look, it's very easy for him to say, just like us, saying, oh, well, we would take so-and-so number 1 overall in the draft. But our jobs and careers and the careers of other people that work under us are not on the line in that situation. He's just doing an interview. So everyone just relax. So Sean Payton has found some unique ways to motivate his players, and he outdid himself this week. He brought the Lombardi Trophy, more than $200,000 in cash, and a Super Bowl ring for display in the players' meeting. The money was meant to reflect what the Saints would expect for bonuses if they won the Super Bowl. And obviously the, Super Bowl trophy and ring speak for themselves. But the motivational ploy appears to have been effective, according to Sheldon Rankins.
You saw all that money in front of you, you get excited too. That's anybody gonna get excited about that. And I'm right along with him. If we get it done, I need it in 20s, all in a duffel bag, delivered to my front door. That's what I need. Sean does a great job of getting us ready. You know, he kind of knows, you know, what buttons to push and, you know, kind of how to pique guys' interest. So, you know, for him to do that and, you know, kind of get guys, you know, even more excited than they already are.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
It is a very interesting game, though. Because you would assume with the Saints having a bye and home field advantage that it's basically a lock for them to the Super Bowl, but
you'd think generally buys matter for really good coaches. Buys help Andy Reid. Belichick's been great on buys. I think Sean Payton's been good on them. They don't help every coaching staff. I tend to think a bye really helps Drew Brees because they're a very clever offense, and if it gives you another 4 or 5 days schematically to draw some tricks up.
I feel like it's more beneficial to obviously for the experienced coaches, but for the experienced quarterbacks, meaning that they're older. So getting another week of rest. Like, I don't love the bye for the Rams. I don't necessarily love the bye for the Chiefs either.
Yeah.
But for the Patriots and the Saints, I think it's a good thing. And finally, speaking of the Rams, Todd Gurley hopes to put the questions about his injured knee to rest this Saturday against the Cowboys, who missed the last 2 games of the regular season because of inflammation in his left knee. And he appears to be growing very tired of the speculation that he will be ready come game time.
I ain't been on the field in the last 2 weeks, so it's like, why is Todd not on the field? It's his knee, so we want to know how his knee doing and, you know, get an update. So, and then I don't have to keep getting tweets and Instagrams all day. They can just watch this video, see how my knee doing. They're either going to believe it or think I'm lying.